Now that's really tricky for me to pick because I love every single room in this museum, but today I thought this would be an appropriate place because I'm standing in front of our Paul Scott exhibition. And Paul Scott is a wonderful ceramic artist who has done a political take on an old style of art. So he's using traditional ceramic techniques of the 18th and 19th century and telling contemporary stories. And this is an exhibition that kicks off our contemporary programme for next year. So he is the first in a line of great artists who are coming into the Holburne to be inspired by the works of art we have on display here and to create their own pieces in response to it. So I wanted to highlight that today with you.
That's important to you, to have the new running alongside the old.
Yeah, that's essential. I think with a collection as rich as that of the Holburne, we really have to see it day after day with fresh eyes. I'm always looking for the stories we can pull out about our paintings, our sculpture, our decorative arts. And a really good way of doing that is getting contemporary artists to come in and to respond to those stories. And that really helps to invigorate the place and to make sure there's always something new to see here.
In terms of touring exhibitions, what do we have coming up in 2015?
We've got a great programme. Our first exhibition in our main exhibition space here at the Holburne, in the Roper Gallery, is going to be Gwen John to Lucian Freud, Modern British Art from the Swindon Collection, which is an exciting show which has been guest curated by contemporary artist Dexter Dolwood. So we're doing it again. We're getting contemporary eyes in on an older thing, and such established names, Gwen John, Lucian Freud, Duncan Grant, great British artists being celebrated in an exhibition from a collection that perhaps is not so well known. It's always a bit of a surprise to think that Swindon has this phenomenal collection of British art, and we're really excited that that's our first major show here in the Holburne. And then moving on through the year, in the summer, we've got a blockbuster show, Canaletto Celebrating Britain, which is an exhibition celebrating the moment when Canaletto came to England. And as a sort of visitor to England, he saw the architecture here, he responded to it, and his paintings reflect a Britishness. And that's what we're exploring in that exhibition, which is really appropriate here in Bath, because Pulteney Bridge is actually based on an old design for the Rialto Bridge in Venice. So it's very appropriate. So as that exhibition comes to life in June, we're also looking at programming around the Holburne. So we're going to have Canaletto's English Summer. We're thinking about the fact that Canaletto was actually a tourist when he came to England as an artist, and he was working here. And so we're thinking, what would England have looked like to him? And what does England, and specifically Bath, look like to visitors who come today? And we want to celebrate that through events. We're looking at possibilities of spectacles, of concerts in the gardens here at the Holburne to celebrate the moment when we have the exhibition here.
In a way, returning at least part of Sydney Gardens to its original purpose as a pleasure garden.
That's right, and the fact that the Holburne actually is a gateway through to the pleasure gardens is something that I really enjoy thinking about. And the idea that that gateway through to enjoying ourselves is something that we can highlight through this summer of festivities that we'll have here at the museum.
Jennifer, it's true to say that for culture everywhere, times are hard. To what extent do you think it is important that cultural institutions do come together to sort of steer themselves through hard times?
I think it's essential. And the thing I'm really enjoying, I'm still so new to Bath, and what I'm really enjoying is the relationships that we have with our partner institutions here in the city. So we work very closely, particularly with the American Museum, Bath Preservation Trust, and with Heritage Services. And we're looking at ways of joining up more. So at the moment, we have a joint marketing campaign where you get 10% off at each of the sites. So you get 10% off one of our major exhibitions here if you've been to number 1, the Royal Crescent, for instance. And we're looking at ways of keeping that going through 2015. It's essential to us that we collaborate with these great museums. Bath is rich. It is full of things to do. The cultural offer is so strong, and it's very important for us at the Holburne that we're seen working together with our partners here.
What would you say to those who are slightly niggly over the fact that for many of the exhibitions they have to pay to get in? And also, I suppose, that the gallery that many of these exhibitions are actually shown in is not that big.
Here at the Holburne, you mean, oh, it's really important for us that we are free to enter. So it's a massive part of our message that anybody can come to this museum and see the great treasures that we have on display here. But another really big part of our identity is that we do fund ourselves. And so we really rely on the support of people, and we are very lucky. We have generous donors, patrons who support us in the work that we do. We need to be seen to be resilient. We always need to be business-minded. And so to have the exhibition space where we put on exhibitions of a world-class quality, I think I have absolutely no reservation in saying we charge a relatively small amount of money to see those exhibitions. There is always something to see for free as well. And I think that's a really important part of our business plan here, that we say we are accessible, and then we have these exhibitions, and when people come and enjoy them and we change them and we have really good themes, when people come and do that, they know that by buying an exhibition ticket, they're also supporting us and helping us to continue doing what we do.